Power Players, you're in the right place if you're ready to own your power. I'm Coach Simone Kelly, author, holistic business coach, and life coach with Own Your Power Communications. Our radio show and coaching programs are designed to help you live the life that you deserve. Welcome to the show, everybody. In today's episode, we're going to learn how to reinvent our signature style. The new year's coming up, so it's time to get it together, y'all. Today, I'm so happy to introduce you to Sheryl Roberts, who is a client and a friend of mine, and she is the perfect person to teach us how to do this. Welcome to the show, Sheryl.
Thank you for having me, Simone.
Thanks for being here.
My coach.
So today, we're going to talk. I'm first going to give you some background about Sheryl, so I got to know why I wanted her to teach us the right way to get our style together. So Sheryl Roberts is a fashion model, actress, and entrepreneur who is the owner of Brooklyn-based vintage store called The Collective at IndigoStyle. It's a cooperative retail boutique and lifestyle store that features over 40 emerging brands of people from people of color brands under one roof. So give her big it up for that. That alone is amazing. So and she also, like, I just learned this. I don't even know how I missed this. She was on the cover of Essence. She's been on hair boxes like L'Oreal, Clairol, Mizani. She's just an amazing talent, and she's definitely also a public speaker and an expert on fashion and style. She's an event host. She's a natural on television, that's for sure. So definitely look her up once we're done. You're gonna want to get to know Sheryl a little bit more. So Sheryl, let's get started in the topic. Why do you think it's important to have a signature style? I mean, if that's a thing that you recommend.
You know what? I think it's different I think having a signature style is different for everyone. Myself, I don't necessarily have a signature style. My signature style is that I dress for my mood. So my style is wildly eclectic. But for some people, a signature style, basically it explains their personality, because the way you dress, that's what it does. It's like that is your presentation to the world. So, some people are very minimal. They want to be in and out. I have a client who only wears black. Her entire wardrobe.
Oh, wow.
A few shades
hardcore New York.
Yeah, she has a few shades of gray and a few other muted colors, but she does that because she's very busy. And so she's literally able to just go in her closet and just pick whatever, and it always matches. So, that works for her. It wouldn't work for me.
Right.
But, each person is different. But I think what it does is when you have your own signature style, it's kind of like your calling card to the world. It's like, oh, I know her. She loves bohemian, or it's just whatever you love. There's no right or wrong way to do it, though.
Right. And I think also, like, for me, I had a friend I had a couple. I'm lucky. I have a few stylish friends, and one of them actually did like a style analysis. I don't know what the actual term is called, but it was very in depth. Like, she put like swatches against my skin and was like, oh, this color, that's a power color, this, that, and the other. And I had to fill out all these questionnaires. And I remember Desiree Spivey, shout out to Desiree, I gotta give it a shout out. I remember when we did it, my test came out as bohemian, sporty bohemian.
There you go.
I don't do stilettos. Y'all know me. I'm with wedges, but that's the time.
Me not anymore.
Yeah, I can't do them. But I do, like, bohemian. That's my style. Natural. I like to. If I could be barefoot all day, I love it. But it's interesting to kind of figure out what your style is. But I think it's always good to have an expert help you, because you can't always learn everything from a magazine. And I think also related to business, it's important to have some sort of style, because it actually helps you create conversation. Like, let's say at a networking event. I host networking events.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my style is exactly that. It's a calling card. So when I go out, I'm actually a little bit shy. I'm not. Well, actually, it's not that I'm shy. I'm actually just more observant, and I'm a little bit more guarded. So when I dress, in my own style, people always come up to me and they're like, oh, I love that color. Like, where did you get that? And then that kind of is the open door for me to feel comfortable to then start a conversation with them. And then one thing leads to another. And then we're able to talk, and I can talk about my business.
Right.
Whereas some people are the type of people that can just walk up and say, hi, how are you?
Right.
What do you do for a living? That's not me. Like, I'm not going to say that's a fake or phony thing. It's just, it's not personality. Right. So I have to have something that, like, kind of like brings me in. And so that's what clothes do for me. Like, and each person's different. You know, like you said, it's a signature style. If you're a person that's a high power corporate person, then your style is not going to be bohemian because you want to be taken seriously.
Right.
You're
Right.
going to be more in power suits. You're going to be more in like tailored and fitted outfits. But then again, you might be the president of Apple, and then you can wear whatever you want to work. You can wear.
Right.
So it
Right.
also depends on what atmosphere you're in. So, you know, it's a little bit of a formula, but every person has their own signature thing that they feel comfortable in.
I'm glad you brought up Apple because it made me remember when you just mentioned the friend that or the client that wore black only, that I think Steve Jobs and also what's the guy that owns Facebook?
Oh,
I can't remember his name right now. That's crazy.
Not Steve Jobs, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but both of them, they have like limited wardrobes. Like they'll just wear like, so because they're busy, they don't got time to look for clothes. I mean, even though Steve Jobs passed away, rest in peace. But you know,
they can pay somebody to do it, but they're just comfortable. When you have a lot of money, you wear what you want. They wear jeans and t-shirts or sweaters.
Yeah, you would never know they were billionaires at the time. But yeah, so, and then I actually have a mentor who does. She actually was adopting that, like just to have a few outfits or a few colors that she just wears, and she's busy. I notice when I look at my wardrobe, I have so many bright colors, like, and they say it's related to your personality too. Yeah, like in sales, they actually categorize you as certain things if you depending on how you dress. And I know that I'm always wearing pink or not pink, but bright orange or something. I'm always wearing bright colors, so that's my personality. I'm like, hey everybody, I'm here.
Right, exactly. And I like everything. Like it depends on, like I said, depends on my mood. It also depends on my hair. It depends on if my hair is short, if I have it braided. You know what I mean? Like whatever style I wear, like if I have like a more of a sleek, if I blow it out and I pull it back, then I kind of feel a little bit more classic. But when I'm like, my hair is short, it can just be more chic. I can do prints. I feel like, my hair kind of dictates a lot about my mood. And then my mood dictates what I wear. So it just depends.
I'm glad you brought up hair. Say it again.
I said, I just switch it up. Like that's my style. My style is I switch it up. I might be sporty one day, and then the next day I'm like ultra chic. The next day I'm minimal. The next day I'm like rocker. The next day I'm like very naturalista Africana. It just depends.
Right. Now, so that works for some people, especially people like you, because you're in fashion, or people that are like, let's say, a Nicki Minaj or like a no, I always feel like some old lady when I would say, what's the girl from the rapper from the Bronx?
Cardi B.
Yeah, thank you. I'm like, you know her name. What's her name? So yeah, like people that change, that you have different color wigs and all that. That's because they're entertaining. But I have a hairstylist who would tell. She had a client who was a DJ that would change her hair all the time, and then when she would go out, she would get mad because nobody recognized them. And she was like, look, you need to keep your hair a certain way so that people, that's part of your brand. So me, I wear my hair natural, most of the time. Now people are starting to get familiar with me wearing my faux locks. But when I straighten my hair, I've had my own team walk right by me and not recognize me. Or like when I do presentations, I always try to wear my hair the way I look on my website, because then people recognize you. Or even when I do book signings, So like little things like that you have to keep in mind depending on,
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, for some people you definitely have to be consistent. I think because I work in fashion,
it makes sense
for me.
Yeah, it makes sense for you. But yeah, because then and also, like I said, it's a conversation starter. It's like an icebreaker. Like where'd you get that shirt from? Oh, my shop in Brooklyn. Exactly. Come on down and check it out. All right. So now we talked a little bit about how it can help you, in events and networking and what have you. Now reinventing yourself is a whole nother thing. So like, there's people that they don't even really have a style, maybe, or they're just, maybe they need to like notice. The common thing I notice is people go through a relationship change. They always cut their hair, they dye their hair. They're like, I'm a new woman.
I call it transitions. Like I think through life we're always transitioning, and that's like a big thing. People change as they transition. It could be like a divorce. It could be once you have your kids. It can be a new job. It can be a new relationship. It can be the ending of one. It can be you're getting older. It just depends.
So what would you recommend to someone who's starting to reinvent or wants to reinvent themselves? What would be like the first steps, maybe?
I think the first thing you have to look at is what are your goals, like in how you want to reimagine yourself. Like if you're retired and you've always worn suits and now you want to be more creative, or you want to express yourself and do all the things that you want to do, then that's going to be different. That may be that now you wear bold color. Now you wear prints. Now you do, now you can wear your hair differently. Now you wear your makeup differently. Now you can do polish on your nails where you couldn't do that before. So it just depends on like whatever it is that whatever your goal is. That's when I talk to clients, I'm always like, what are your goals? Like when you're transitioning, like now you're going through a divorce. So what is it that you want? Like, are you wanting to figure out who you are? Are you wanting to change your look to attract someone else? Like, there has to be reasons for what you're doing. And the thing is that I think that some people try to change their looks for other
somebody
people.
else.
Yeah, and that's the exact wrong thing that you want to do. You have to figure out what works for you and what you want to express, what you want to exude, and what your goals are. Because otherwise, you may end up saying, "Oh, you know what? I love Beyonce, so I want my style to be Beyonce," but your personality might not be Beyonce,
right?
Because your style also is dictated by your personality,
right?
So,
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And the thing that I found out that's interesting is that we have the same things over and over again a lot of times. And that was one of the things I said when I had somebody that came to help me. When I first started like really doing book tours and what have you, I was like, somebody help me figure out what to wear on these book tours. I'm really not the person. I really don't care if I wear something more than once, but I noticed that's a big thing. Like, oh my gosh, she wore that again. I don't care. But but what I found out is there was so many things in my closet that I didn't wear, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that was there because she made me take everything out of the closet. So do you do that? Like, talk to me about like shopping in your closet and like redesigning outfits. Like, she literally went through my closet, and I was like, wow, I didn't know that looked nice together.
Yeah,
so.
that's actually one of the biggest categories in my business. It's what I call shop your closet.
Yeah.
And people literally pay me and I come in, it's a 3-hour minimum. Okay. I go into their closet and, people like to just sit next to me and say, oh, and what it is they want to either make excuses or they want to justify their purchase. And I'm just like, no, you can go and sit in your living room. And let me go through your closet. Now, when I do that, they fill out a questionnaire beforehand. And I also always know I can tell somebody's personality within 5 minutes of talking to them. So I kind of already know like the way they would dress and what they would wear. Because I'm never going to put someone in what I would wear. I'm going to try to make sure that I'm making you the best you can be. So we go into their closet. We go through their entire closet and we separate outfits. Now, what we will do is we'll have the person with us and they will tell us like if they haven't worn this in a really long time, if it needs mending, if it's too little, those things.
That's another one.
Different sections. So you might be purging a lot of stuff that you just know you don't wear, you're never going to wear again. There's some things that you want to keep, and then there's some things that you want to maybe like make some adjustments to, something that you want to keep, but maybe, it's you might say, oh, that's my favorite top, but whatever, I don't wear it because the elastic is messed up. Okay, so then we'll take those things and we'll have them altered. And then we go through the closet, and then I'll say to them, I only do it with the first 2 or 3 things. I'll say, okay, when you wear this, how do you wear it? And they'll say, oh, I always wear it with whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's all I need to know. I'll go through and I'll take their pieces and I'll style them in 2 to 3 different ways. Nice. So every single thing in their closet, they'll know how to wear it 2 to 3 different ways.
I love it.
And at the end of it, we take all the photos and then we give them all of those photos on a disc. So literally, they don't even have to really think about it. They can just, in their spare time, they can just go through their disc and be like, I want to wear that. Or like, oh, I want to wear this dress. How can I wear this dress a different way? Well, you can wear it with a belt, and then that's one way. You can wear it as a tunic, and you can put jeans underneath it, and then that's a different way. You can put a long shaggy vest with it, and then that's a very mod boho way to wear it. Right. So that's kind of like,
I love it.
The way that, we do things. And then I'll even do things like I'll say, oh, you know what? You have this really long maxi skirt with elastic. Pull that all the way up to here because it's elastic. And now you have a dress.
Okay.
I really try to like take people through their wardrobe, and I want them to reimagine it in a way that they haven't ever worn it before, because you want to get the most wear out of your things. Some people say, oh, this is my summer wardrobe and this is my winter wardrobe. I don't do that. Like I have summer things that I can wear in the winter. I'll
Right.
put on a
You put
slip
it
dress,
together, layers.
I'll put it on with a hoodie or a turtleneck, or it just depends. But you can always wear summer things in the winter, and then there are some winter things that you can't wear in the summer. It just depends on how you wear it. You can wear cowboy boots in the summer. It just
Right.
depends on how you wear it. If you put a little cutoff short with it, you can do that. Or you put your little mini skirt, or you want to be boho chic, you can do a long flowy maxi dress. You can still wear your cowboy boots. Like, those are the things that like I go through, and I'm like, I help them just like define their style, and then also say, oh wow, I would never think to wear, the outfits that way. And 100% of the time, I've never had anyone, it's never failed. When I go through their wardrobe, it's always different than what they would do every single time.
Wow.
I never put an outfit together and they're like, oh, that's the exact way I wear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people reimagine things a different way.
Yeah, I think my issue would be like I'm always trying to match things too perfectly, and I'm like I would never put those patterns together when somebody else does. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
another thing I'm curious, do you help people get rid of certain things that like, okay, this is old. I mean, obviously it doesn't fit, but also like, I'll give you an example. I had this, I don't know what they call it. I don't think it's a maxi dress, but the dresses, I had a bunch of these dresses, and I didn't realize they were the same dress. There's different patterns, and she was like, Simone, these look like maternity dresses because it was like,
Right.
oh, it was like cut hair and then like it would flow down, but it
Oh,
kind of,
yeah.
but there was
Yeah.
so many. I had like at least 5 or 6, and she was like, look at they're all the same. Like, you need to stop buying, buy things that flatter your
Right. Your
figure,
Yeah.
yeah, your shape,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
do you do that? Do you help people look at
I
like,
do.
okay,
I do. And another thing is that some people dress based on a memory. So there are some women who their best time in their life was high school, right?
okay?
So
Now I'm
when
getting ready to laugh. I
so
don't know
they
what you're gonna
always
say.
see themselves in that way. And that's how they dress. Or there are women who were heavier and then they've lost weight.
Yes,
But they still see themselves
as the big girl.
as a bigger person, or
Mhm.
vice versa. There are people that have gained weight, but they still see themselves as the smaller person. And you can still have elements of the style that you want, but you have to adjust it for your body type, or maybe you might have to adjust it a little bit for your age. It
Right.
just depends, although like I'm 55 and I wear what I want,
Woo!
what I mean? I just
Yeah, I don't believe
balance.
in that just for your age. I'm still gonna be wearing little shorts. I don't, I'm like, I
Exactly.
got nice legs.
Exactly. So it just depends. But like what you might do when you're older is instead of doing the bra top and the booty shorts, you know what I mean, and a high heel, you'll
That's
pick
too much.
one or the other. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like you might do a tank top and you might do the booty short, and then you might do a over the knee boot, or you might, you know what I mean, or you might do a Doc Martin or something like that.
Right. Right.
It just depends. But you wanna still make sure that you're current, because a lot of people, they get one style and they're stuck in that style for 20 years. They're like, I've
Right.
always worn bangs and I'm always gonna wear bangs. And it's like, no, you know what I mean? That you want to change. Like it's just like you're always learning. Your style should constantly evolve.
Right.
As you grow and as you change and as your goals change, you know, you want to evolve. And so that's kind of like what we do with the closet thing.
Right.
We go through, and if there's stuff that doesn't serve you, you're getting rid of that stuff.
Right.
Now, and it doesn't go to a landfill. This is not like, oh, I'm going to throw this in the trash. Yeah, we're donating it. I mean, I don't really do Goodwill, Salvation Army, because those are for-profit organizations, even though they say they're not, they are.
So what do you recommend? I need to hear this.
You know what? It depends on the quality of the garment. Like if you have some really amazing pieces, and not necessarily high end, but just really good quality, great pieces that you just don't wear, I'll say, okay, now are you up for doing a Poshmark or eBay and selling it? Or do you want to take it to like a Beacon's Closet? Here in New York, there's like Beacon's Closet, and there's Crossroads, and there's Buffalo Exchange. You can go and take your whole bag of clothes and they will buy whatever they like. And then the things that they don't want, then you can go and you can take those things and you can donate them. You can I partner with different shelters and different groups.
I like that.
So
Yeah,
like we do women in transitions, if they're coats, like I'll take the coats, I'll put them in my storage unit. And then like right now we're doing coat drives for the winter. So I take the coats and then I take them and I donate them. So it just depends. Some people are like, I don't want it, just take it, get it out of my house. And I'm like, okay, it just depends. And then if you have really pristine items, then you might consider consigning them to like different boutiques like mine.
Right. I love
So
that. Okay.
we try to make it where it's beneficial to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, so if there's things that you want, and you're like, oh, I paid so much money for this. Okay, great. We'll help you try to make.
You just made me remember. What about like accessories? Because I think that also can dress up a whole outfit. Like you can have on a tank top and hook it up with a nice neck piece or something. So
exactly.
Do you go through that? Do you help them with accessories too?
We do. So what we do is we go through all of the basics first, and then at the end of the edit, we'll leave them with 5 to 10 key pieces that they need to kind of like make their whole wardrobe cohesive. So if I go through their entire wardrobe and I'm like, I noticed you don't have like a really great pair of black slacks or a blazer, or it just depends. Like you don't have a great denim jacket. Everybody needs a denim jacket, or, you know, maybe a little piece of camo, something like that. We go through and then we'll leave them with the edit of these are the things that you need to really get to like pull your wardrobe together. And it's the same thing with accessories. That's not necessarily included, but it's extra if you want me to stay and you want me to go through all the accessories. When I put the outfits together, if your accessories are already out and accessible, then I do put those together. Like I'll put the belt and I'll say, oh, you could do, you know, this scarf or this earring. But if you want me to do that with all of the outfits, then we can do it. But that's just like an extra thing. But we definitely always give suggestions, or like overall suggestions on like, you know, the types of accessories that go well with different types of outfits or with their particular type of wardrobe. Like me, I'm always in, these are my favorite bangles.
Okay.
People that follow me know I wear them with almost anything. And you know why? Because they're like a pop of color and they kind of go with almost everything. Maybe not go with the business suit, but it works with this animal print. Like if I put on denim, it would work with denim. If I put on all black, it would work with black. It just goes with a lot of stuff. So, you know.
I like the fashion staples or things that everybody should have. Like, can you give us a couple more of those things, like that people can at least?
Yep. So I think that, like everybody, you have to have good foundation garments. That's number one. Everybody needs good foundation garments, and unless I guess you're size 0 and you're like 20, maybe you don't need a bra, maybe you don't need a good panty. But anybody older than that, like you need good foundation. So that's bras that are fitted and the right fit for your body. That's number one. A great panty, if you need a Spanx or like a certain type of underpinning, then that as well. And then for the actual clothing, everybody needs a 1 to 2 go-to white shirts. Everybody needs that. Everybody needs
that.
Everybody.
I'm so clumsy. I don't like wearing white because I always spill stuff on.
I know, but you know what? The thing about a really great white shirt is that it can literally take you from day to night, and it can work for anything in your wardrobe. Anything in your wardrobe, even if you wear it open, like a jacket, like which is like a shirt and a jacket. Like everybody, I just feel like everybody a great white. Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be a basic button down. It could, you know, there's so many different types of really beautiful white tops, but I feel like you need a white top. I feel like you need a great blazer. You need a great denim jacket. You need a great black pant. You need about at least 1 to 2 pants that have color or a great print. You need a piece of leopard in your wardrobe. I feel like everybody needs a something animal print.
Really?
Now, maybe that you might not be like me and wear a full dress, but maybe you do a top, maybe you do a belt, because an animal print belt like works so well with so many things. Like if you put this in a belt form, this would look great with a red tartan, like a plaid. It would look good with black. You know what I mean? It would look good with green. The leopard would look good with purple. It looks good with any color. It's like a neutral. So, you know, you want that as a neutral.
I never knew that.
You need a great boot. You need 2 boots. I feel like you need a great flat boot or a chunky boot, and everybody needs like a knee-high boot. I feel like you need a pump, you need a shoe that also has color, and then you also need some type of a print. Like those are just like a few things. You need a great black belt, you need a skinny belt, and you also need a great wide belt.
I feel like I need to go shopping now after all. I'm like, I'm missing a few of these things.
It depends on your personality. Like some people don't like big earrings. If you don't, then that's fine. Earrings. But I feel like, and some people have signature things. Like some people are like, I'm gold, I don't do silver. And some people are like, I'm silver, I don't do gold. Like, you know what I mean? So
that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always wearing wood. Like my earrings are always a conversation piece too. People always like, where'd you get those from? Oh, And I'm like,
Exactly.
and I was like, what am I on today? Because I
Yeah.
don't even remember when.
What you wear, but yeah, but you always wear interesting, you might wear interesting jewelry. Like that's the thing. Like, I go through and depending on the person, that's how you kind of create what it's going to be. Some people are like, I don't like a lot of color. I don't like a lot of print. I don't like other. So then we bring it in accessories. I'm like, okay, so you don't want to do a
Right.
lot of color in your wardrobe. You'll do a few things, but I always suggest to go out of your comfort zone and do a little bit. I'm not saying I'm going to put you in a bright, bright orange, but maybe we'll start you with like a mauve. Mauve is a color, or a periwinkle, or a dusty blue, or even a slate gray, like just some kind of
Some kind
color.
of color.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you ease into it, because I have so many people that like, they were like, I never wore print and I never wore bright color. Now they do.
Yeah,
Because once
I've
you
never
start,
worn
it's a
animal print.
love. I love it. And I'm telling you, you'll see that it'll change your mood. The way you dress can change your whole entire mood. If it's a
Wow.
rainy day and you put on something that like you really love, it'll make your whole day happier.
Wow.
Mhm.
Before we wrap up, I want to go back to the undergarment part because I think
Yes.
that's a big one as far as wearing the wrong bra size.
Yeah.
Guilty. I was wearing the wrong bra size for like at least 2 years. Didn't even know. And
Yeah.
I went and got measured and at like because sometimes they doesn't you have to know where to go. Like I don't
Right.
know in New York they in Dillard's was in Florida. That's where everybody said.
Oh yeah, Dillard's. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
know
don't know if they have that in New York, but and I was like, what? I'm that size. Like and I didn't realize it. So that can make your outfit look like it literally made me look skinnier when I was wearing the right
Yep.
size bra,
Yeah.
but
The
it's spilling over.
bra is like the worst. If you're like pulling and pulling, or
Hmm.
like if your bra is doesn't have enough support, it makes your boobs sag. You
Right,
want
that
your boobs
too.
to be lifted, because when you lift your boobs, it gives you a better waist.
Right.
Like little things like that. And you also need to have the appropriate bra or undergarment for what you're wearing. So like we
Oh
need a
my God,
strapless
please.
bra, or at least a bra that has the opening so that you can change the straps. So you can wear the straps regular, or you can crisscross the straps if you have on, a racer back,
Right. Yeah, and panties, please.
yeah.
When people have on
Some
these
people
like
want padded bra,
panties with
like
different
your
like
small boobs.
colors. Yeah. Say that again.
Yeah. I was like, if you have small boobs, you might want a padded bra. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Or like a push-up bra that gives you some cleavage. It just depends, but like you have to have like a good arm undergarment, and you also need a really smooth bra. Like I tell people this: all your bras can't be lace.
Right.
Like you're gonna put on the
Lumpy.
lace and you see the whole thing. You need a good smooth bra, and you need a nude bra. When I model, it was so hard to find a nude bra. I would take my bras and I would like dye them with tea bags
Oh
to
my
try to get
God.
it to be my
Well,
color.
nowadays it's different. That was maybe back
Yes.
in the day. But yeah, now
Yeah.
they have our colors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you want a good flesh tone bra. Some people
Mhm.
are like, I don't wear thongs. I don't wear, those kind of underwear. But you still need good, properly fitting underwear. Like I hate to see people in pants and then from the back,
Lumpy.
yeah, like, or like their panties are actually too small. So the panty is here and then their booty is sticking out on the like
Hanging
biscuit.
over.
Yeah, like it just looks crazy. So it's like you got to make sure that you have the right, properly fitted garments for what you're
Right.
wearing.
Right. Hopefully some young ladies will listen. Well, some mature ladies don't even know. So everybody
No,
needs to listen to this.
exactly.
So
Mhm.
you are just full of knowledge and fashion, and we are just so happy that you were able to share your knowledge with us. Can we find out how we can book you? I mean, I know that you're in New York, but can we
Yes.
do this virtually too? Can you help people?
Sure can.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what
Well,
I'm
the,
talking
the
about.
shop your closet, I can do it virtually. That is actually something that I prefer to do in person. I
Right.
like to see your garments. I need to feel them. I need to touch them. I need to, those kinds of things. But I can always do a style consultation. I do that virtually a lot with clients
Okay.
that live, all over and even abroad.
Okay.
Um, it's literally as simple as like you emailing me and we set it up and it's like a Zoom call. Or we can do it through
Wonderful.
Instagram. Instagram is so great now. Instagram and Facebook, you can literally like dial somebody and then you can do a FaceTime with them. It's just a FaceTime. You can do it even through a phone call. And then when we FaceTime, I get to meet you, I get to talk to you, I get to, send you a questionnaire that you're gonna fill out even before I talk to you, so that I then have something to go by. And then once I get to know you, I know your personality. You tell me exactly like kind of what you're wanting. Then we go from there. So it may be as simple as, I have a really big event coming up. It's my 10-year anniversary and I want to freaking wow my
Yes.
partner. I can help you do that. Or if you're
Okay.
like, what, I been like a stripper for 10 years and now I'm about to be a teacher. So help me.
I need help.
Or whatever, wow. I can do that too. It's literally as little or as much as you like. It's very customized.
I love it. So how can people find you? Give us your website and the address of your shop so people in Brooklyn can check you out.
If you are local to Brooklyn, please come and check us out at the Collective. We have vintage design and resale. We have custom apparel, and we have over 40 different Black-owned brands of artisans and makers, people of color that are absolutely fabulous. So our shop location is in Stuyvesant Heights, Bed-Stuy, 409 Lewis Avenue, between Decatur and McDonough. And if you're interested in following us on the gram, we're on Instagram at IndigoStyle Vintage. The store is called The Collective at IndigoStyle. And then my personal brand and our Instagram is IndigoStyle Vintage. And then our website is www.thecollective@indigostyle.com. INDIGOSTYLE.
And I'll definitely put it in the description of the show as well. One last thing that I think is an important fun fact that you need to elaborate on before we wrap up is tell us what the difference is between vintage and what was the other word?
I would love to do that.
Yeah, because I didn't know. You explained it to me because I'm just thinking vintage is, stuff I could get at Goodwill.
Okay. So
break it down.
Okay, so the clothing breaks down in different categories. So there's antique clothing, which is like generally like early 1900s and earlier. It's Victorian and antique. Okay. Then, and that's considered vintage too, but it's just the era that it is. But vintage clothing is anything that's 20 years, at least 20 years old. But vintage is a point of reference. So some clothes that are 20 years old are just old clothes. So like if you buy Old Navy now and you keep it for 20 years, more than likely in 20 years, that's just going to be old clothes. It's not going to be vintage. It's not vintage because Old Navy it's not referential in any way. I mean, it's not a designer. It's not like vintage Benetton, if you remember that, or something that a lot of vintages are things that they don't exist anymore. So like vintage Montgomery Ward could be old clothes, but if it's when I say referential, it means like, so if it's something, fashion repeats. So if it's something that would be in fashion now, or something that is really hip or it's really cool, it's got a great print, certain things like that market, or if it's a certain designer, then those things are more coveted. So those things would be considered vintage. Some things are just thrift. So like if you just get an old
thrift,
banana,
that's the word. Yeah,
shirt, then that's just an old Banana Republic shirt or Old Navy shirt or Shein and fast fashion, stuff like that. That would not be considered vintage. But like I said, Betsy Johnson, you find some Betsy Johnson or Betsy Johnson punk label that you can get some money for that. Vintage Cachet. Like if you remember Cachet back in the day, everybody would go to Cachet. That was like a little store. Even like some vintage Baker shoes, you can are worth a lot of money. So it's like,
I'm mad. I sold I got rid of my Benetton jeans. I have these Benetton jeans. Man, I should have kept them.
Benetton and like, even like cross colors. Cross colors is really in now. Or Coogi, vintage Coogi. Vintage Coogi, you can get like $400 for a Coogi sweater.
What?
If
People
it's vintage.
wearing it? They're wearing it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Vintage. It's very big. Like the thing is, some people they're not into vintage. They're like, oh, I don't wear vintage. Everything I want to wear is new. Okay. But if you start to really look at vintage and you look at designer, you see the quality in those garments, and then you also see what you're getting for the price, because you might go to Gucci, but if you don't know vintage, you won't know that everything that Gucci has put out for the past 5 years is vintage. All they do is source vintage and then they just copy it. Sometimes exactly straight. They don't even change anything. Miu Miu, same thing. Alice and Olivia, same thing. All of these companies like Coach, they look for vintage and then they take the vintage and they use it as an inspiration or a jump off, and then they either copy it completely, or they may take the pattern or the print, and then they'll make it a little more modern. They'll tweak it, to whatever is in today,
Right.
But overall, vintage, you just have to know it's like 20 years or older, and it has a point of view, has a reference point. So,
Gotcha.
that could be the designer, that could be the cut, that could be the print of it.
Okay. So now we know the difference between vintage and thrift, because that's why I totally was lumping them in one box.
But you can go to a thrift store and find good vintage.
That's true. That yeah, because I found some stuff at Goodwill. I like Goodwill.
Exactly. Thrift is usually a place where you're gonna go where people have donated the clothes. Right. Whereas vintage, it's curated. Like you're not gonna go into a vintage shop and it's just a bunch of stuff that people just gave the person for free. Right. So it's just any old thing. A vintage person is someone that has they've gone out, that they're looking for something, that when they find it, they're inspecting it, they are going home, they're altering it, they're cleaning it, they're mending it. There's a lot that goes into vintage.
Right. So that's why it's a little bit more expensive than
exactly
the typical. Gotcha. Well, thank you for clearing that up. Man, I learned a lot today. Thanks again, everybody. Make sure you visit the collective at IndigoStyle.com. Make sure you check Sheryl Roberts out at her shop. And what's the address real quick again?
409 Lewis Avenue. And follow us on Instagram at IndigoStyle Vintage.
Exactly. Thanks again for tuning in to Own Your Power. Remember, anything you want is attainable. Own your power.